Hi, Hugo.
Hello,
Thanks for helping with our project.
of course.
Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Hugo. I'm a composer and I'm based in New Jersey. I play the piano and right now I'm studying my master's in music composition at Temple.
That's awesome. What kind of music do you like to write?
I like to write cinematic music, um, like for trailers or film. I also like writing contemporary music and soft, relaxing, like meditative piano music.
And what got you interested in this?
My mom and dad play the piano.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah.
Do they play together?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, they would play together more before. Right now, not as much. My dad has like a problem with his hands
I see.
lately. He has to get injections. Can't really move well. Some fingers, so he hasn't been playing a lot.
Like arthritis type of thing?
I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's not arthritis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must be frustrating for him.
Yeah, it is.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Other than piano, were there other instruments that you were interested in doing?
I was just a little interested in violin, but really never picked it up. I do know the notes on it and how to play it, but not really like anything. Well, it sounds like a cat dying. So
I hear that's quite common in the violin world.
yeah.
So what is your favorite cinematic score? Like, whenever you think about, uh, oh, the type of music I would like to write is like
Yeah.
this. Like, what comes to your mind?
Well, I really like the Jurassic Park theme from by John Williams, especially the slow part, the da 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 da, and sometimes it's like with piano, just solo piano. I think it starts sometimes. Yeah, and I really like the theme of that one.
It's amazing. I mean, John Williams wrote so many of the movie scores. I
Yeah,
mean, like,
yeah, it's crazy.
how do you think that happened?
I don't know. Wish I knew how. Because like right now I'm trying to get into that, and I really haven't like done a lot of projects about like with that or collaborating with people from films and stuff. Like right now I'm looking into like my school. They have a film media program, and so I'm gonna try to find some students and see if they need music for their projects, because sometimes you can't find music. Sometimes you have to pay for it or whatever. Yeah, so I'm looking into that.
There's this Japanese billionaire who has this idea of taking a handful of artists, and including like music composers, musicians, movie producers, dancers, photographers, that type of thing. You know, people who create art, and send them on a trip around the moon with the idea that they could take that experience, you know, kind of absorb it in
Oh wow.
themselves, and then like produce art that would help have an impact on humanity. And as an artist, I was just wondering what you thought of that project overall. I mean, does that seem like a reasonable thing to do, or do you? I mean, like, what do you think?
I think a lot of you do need like experience and a lot of motivation to do things. So I would think going around the moon and having that experience would be a great motivator and something to compose about, or like having like practically like if you go I don't want to say like out of body experience, but like something magical probably you would feel. Like not a lot of people would have done it yet, I suppose. um so I think it's a good initiative to have like inspire artists, especially like art is something we really need. Like sometimes it's like deemed as non-essential or something, but then just imagine not having music or your favorite movies or whatever, and your books or whatever.
Mm.
So it's yeah. I think it's I don't know if like he just grabs I suppose it's like a contest or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a selection process.
Selection
He
process.
had like a lot of people put in entries, you know, like what would you do with this experience, that type of thing, and then selected some of them and said, okay, go create a video that kind of talks about yourself and a little bit more, and then selected among them. And I think from that he selected something like I want to say like 9 people. You know, various like a YouTuber, like a photographer, you know, um, kind of like a visual artist. I think a film producer. I'm not entirely sure all of their resumes, but yeah. So that's the plan.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Like, I would love to go around the moon or something. Like, I am kind of scared of. Like, I've actually, like, as a child, I would have, like, sometimes nightmares that I would be on a rocket going up. And I would hate the, like being, like, kind of, like, you know, horizontal instead of vertical experience going up. So, I don't know how I would mitigate or act under those circumstances. But I would like to, like, see the moon and everything. That would be, like, really cool to go up there. Yeah.
So if you could, you would take such a trip.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And just kind of imagining going through that experience, you know, going through the terror of being in this position that you don't like, and then, you know, maybe the joy and, you know, the awe, and then maybe the boredom, and then like more awe, and then more boredom, and then more awe, and then more terror, and then relief. So I imagine that would be like the entire mission profile.
Yeah.
How would that influence your art, do you think?
Well, I think a lot about, well, how I do my music and how I experience it is I take really highs of emotions I've had and then try to put those into music because it normally makes something more captivating instead of taking like just a moment where it's just boring or blah. You normally just take the highs and compose something about that. And I think doing that is sometimes hard. Like separating exactly an emotion you have and then putting it into music. So maybe going up and experiencing all that would be like would be helpful in creating something. I would have something to base my music on, and yeah, and normally, like, I normally compose over really strong emotions that I have. I'm normally really emotional person, so I experience something. When I experience something, I experience it like really to its limit. Sometimes being joy or being sadness, or I don't like the sadness part. I compose a lot of also sad music, so I get really like into moments I've like felt sorrow and whatnot. But I also like experiences where you feel like you're just amazed by something or in awe, and trying to capture that and put it into music is hard, but it's one of the things I really like to do. Like create this emotion that you're like in the presence of something. So I think experiencing all that, if I were chosen to travel and do that, I think it would be really helpful.
Yeah, I mean it's a challenge as an artist to feel something and then to produce something that makes other people feel things.
Yeah,
it's just like really amazing.
Yeah.
I like. What do you find that works for you in terms of trying to produce things that make other people feel things?
Normally, a lot of the music I don't know exactly where it comes from, or like I suppose a lot of experiences I've had, music I've listened to, have a big influence on me. But sometimes, like when like in music school they show you how to compose show you like sometimes like they give you like, oh, these chords, then make a melody that matches these chords and blah blah. And sometimes I've composed like that, but I don't feel like that really captivates people. Like normally I I just kind of I play something on the piano and then I kind of hear something. I hear maybe a melody or something, and then I just keep I kind of play it by ear, the melody like I'm hearing, and then normally comes out to be a really like sticky melody that people like my mom, parents, and performers have told me that they like hear it everywhere. They're like, now I can't get it out of my mind. It's like I go to sleep and there it is, and just can't get it out. So I don't know, maybe like really intuitively writing music is what works best for me. Not like I really don't like putting sometimes all the fancy words around, like being like, oh, here I used a 5/7 to go to a diminished six and different things like that. Just like do it intuitively. Then afterwards you can analyze your music and be like, oh, I did this and that. I don't know why I did it, but I did that and it came out and it sounded like this. But yeah, normally I'm not thinking about like actually chords or anything like that. It just like comes. Yeah. So I found that that's the best way I can communicate. Like I feel like it comes from something somewhere deeper than me. Like I don't know exactly where it comes from, but it's me. So yeah, like I feel it's like a representation of me in some sort. Yeah.
Has there ever been an experience that you've had where you're like, I want to capture this in music?
Let me see. Yeah, I've been to like a beach in Cozumel in Mexico, and I just like I would see the ocean and just the sun and everything, and the ocean really transparent, really see through. And I remember I saw that, and I would think, oh, I really would like to capture this, some sort of like piece. But I also like what was I one of the pieces I was listening to at that time, which was it? Oh, Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto in D major, his famous one. I would just like I would listen to it and see the beach and everything, and it would just kind of make sense to me. And I thought, okay, maybe I can. I feel like it kind of makes sense. I can maybe make something like that, but I actually haven't made something representing that yet. So I don't know, but I think that would be an experience I would like to capture. So, but I feel like I need more. I want to go again, and then maybe I could write it once I'm there. Like when I went there, I went for like just like vacation purposes with my family. Didn't really think about it. But now I think like a lot of the times there are like musical retreats and stuff where you go to the middle of nowhere and people and they're like just write music and be next to a lake or something, and I think that helps. So yeah, I think that would be an experience I would like to put to music, but I haven't done yet. But normally I try to like experiences of emotional experiences, like just my day to day. Like I do suffer from depression, so I really like putting a lot of like putting what I feel with depression into music, and so I can like get it out. So I get it out in a way, and I quite don't remember what the question was.
No, that's good. I was curious if you had an experience where you like try to create music out of it to try to make other people feel like they were going through the experience.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I have some so I've had OCD. So I actually composed an orchestra piece called Obsessive Compulsion. It won an award last year. And yeah, I showed it to some of my friends, like music friends and my family, and they said like, "Oh yeah, I can feel like that obsessiveness there." Um, Trying to like shed light a little more on some mental health topics, like me specifically having that, so I can kind of share what it's like, and they can kind of like hear it and maybe experience it to another level instead of just reading what it is.
That's amazing. I hear like there's no picture of the Grand Canyon that can give you the same sense of feeling as actually being there in person.
Yeah.
And maybe music is a way that you can make people feel things that they can't.
Yeah, definitely.
Without being there.
I feel like it's a universal language that kind of it some way the brain, I don't know, gets input that's different from anything else, and it's kind of like even if you want it or not, you're gonna get a certain your brain is gonna process it a certain way, and it's gonna feel like we don't know exactly why we process the sounds like that, or why it suddenly like creates sadness or whatever. Like a lot of does have to do like with what you're disposed to as a child, and like you're told like, oh, this is sad music, this is happy music, and blah blah, and so you grow up and you're kind of
like conditioned
to it. Yeah. Like in a music class I have like they use, I don't know if you know the term, interpolated, where you're like your surroundings, everything that makes you, like how you grow up, what your dad told you, what your mom told you, what you saw on TV, what you heard. So a lot of times what you hear is like you're interpolated in a certain way to process information in a certain way. But I feel like in music, it's to a degree everyone's going to process it somewhat differently because no one has the exact same experiences. So that's how we all are. We all process everything like not the same, because we all have different genetic makeup, different uprising. So yeah, it's interesting to me that music can be such a universal thing. Like almost everyone I know listens to music. Like maybe some person I think I just met or something, they're like, I don't listen to music, although they listen to music when they work out. But they're like, I don't really listen to music. But
as they take out their AirPod, I mean, I could quit anytime.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
So it's like a really like universal language, and it kind of gets to somewhere in the brain or an emotion that you can't actually like get with any other I would say like tool. Like you can maybe, like, if someone tells you their experience, you can't you can be like, oh, okay, I kind of understand, but it's another way feeling it, it's like different. Like you feel it, and you're not doing like you're not doing it consciously, it just like happens, like what you feel. And like a lot of times what you feel isn't like you can't really control it. Like if something happens, you're gonna feel how you feel. Like you might do things like that can like make you feel happier and things, but normally, like if, I don't know, someone dies that you really love, well, you're gonna feel grief, and you can control the grief, you can maybe do different activities or yoga or whatever to kind of ease it, but you're gonna get that emotion whether you like it or not. So it's like with music, you get an emotion whether you like it or not, something like that.
Whenever you said people will process things their own way, and
Mm-hmm.
that what it may mean something to you, may mean something different to somebody else, reminded me of a conversation I had one time about how maybe we all see like colors a different way, but
Yeah.
we've all been conditioned that this is green, but it looks different to you than it does to me.
Yeah, I thought about that a lot.
Yeah. I wonder if it's the same thing true as like sounds too.
Yeah, it might be.
It's kind of conditioned.
Yeah, I mean, we actually can't really be in another person to see if they're like actually hearing exactly the same, like processing the sound the same way I'm processing it.
Right.
Like maybe a person plays a cymbal, and they're like, this person hears the sound and processes it, and I hear the sound and I process it maybe a little bit differently. Maybe it sounds a little different to me, or like it's just a different sound completely. And but since we're both told that's how it sounds, we put that same sound like it's like with the color thing. You just like yellow. You're like told this is yellow,
right?
And the other person sees it.
They're like,
and they might actually see it blue, but they're told that color is yellow.
Sure.
So, yeah, who knows?
And then you have people who are colorblind.
Colorblind.
And, they see two different colors as the same, or they can't see colors at all. And, you have like tone deafness.
Tone deaf, yeah.
Yeah, maybe with just specific frequency ranges are, you're, like there's some things and there's like some really low tones you can't even hear, but you feel them.
You can feel them.
Yeah, it's like type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I think something.
Oh,
just
low battery mode.
Yes. Yeah, it's still going.
It's still going.
Yeah.
I had this one time when I interviewed this guy in London, and I guess I was out of storage, and like within 2 minutes it stopped, but the interview was like 45 minutes long.
Oh.
And then he's like, okay, we'll do it again. So I deleted some stuff or, whatever. Did it. The same thing happened again. And then finally, like the third time, it's like, it was like really frustrating. So we gotta avoid that. But anyway, so the Japanese billionaire is planning to send these artists around the moon. I think there's a lot of skepticism about will we actually do it or stuff. He's using Starship from SpaceX as the plan. So there's a little bit of credibility there. But there is another organization, NASA, who actually put people on the moon, who's planning to put people on the moon before. I was wondering if you had heard about it. That NASA is planning to send astronauts back to the moon.
I actually hadn't heard about it. I just heard about it like yesterday because of your interviews and what you said you interviewed people for. So I think it's really interesting. I don't know exactly like I would like to know maybe a little more information about that. Like why specifically? Like maybe are they trying to like make some artifacts up there and leave them there, or just put some more artifacts up there, or just for the experience of it, or just I mean, as humans we're very curious by nature, and that makes us like really like sometimes we want to go somewhere even if it has no like actual cause or something. So I don't think there needs to be an actual cause. Like you can, if you want to go to the moon, put people on the moon, and maybe once you're there you get an idea of something to do. So I think it's interesting. When do they plan to do this? Like 2025 or?
That's the year they plan to land people on the moon. They plan to have 4 astronauts go around the moon in 2024, And then in 2025, they would actually send 4 astronauts. 2 would stay in orbit, and 2 would go down to the surface and come back up.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of the plan right now. Some people think that 2025 is probably unrealistic. It might be 2026 or 2027, but I don't know. Whenever I started the project, it was 2024 that they would actually land people on the moon, and we would already have people around the moon right now. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, it's frustrating a little bit.
Yeah.
But so the stated purpose is to go and learn what the moon could tell us, to go and figure out what resources there that can help us, and to go and test and develop operational capabilities that allow for us to go further, say to Mars. So those are essentially like the like the 3 broad things. But I don't think there's any reason to send people to space other than to send people to space. So I think it really comes down to the next question of, do you think humanity has a future beyond the Earth? Or are we going to be limited to just the Earth, making like these little short trips?
Yeah. I think humanity does have capabilities to be beyond Earth, and I think it is going to happen. Like, maybe not exactly how we see in like movies like Star Trek or something. But I think, and I also think like it is smart to think about it, because, well, we don't know exactly what is something can happen to Earth. Like, I don't know, a meteorite comes, or like we don't know, like stuff has happened.
Or nuclear war.
A nuclear war, or something that we have to get like out of, and having like a plan B and continuing the species. I think it's smart to look into that, and I think we're capable of that. Like how fast technology is moving right now, and I think like I don't know what it'll be like in 100 years. Like 100 years ago, you had people and they were like in. I don't even. When was the car like made? Like the first car.
The first car. I mean, I feel like that was like in the early 1900s, like 1910.
1910 or something.
Around that time.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit earlier than that.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, so it's like 100 years ago they were just starting with that, and it's just like I don't think they could ever imagine what we have right now. Like all the technology, we have little phones, little screens that you can touch and do stuff on.
Yeah.
And make calls, FaceTime, see people in other places.
Order stuff.
And all those capabilities are just like amazing. Like I don't think anyone in the past would have like imagined what it's like. You go on a plane, and it's like, or like a transatlantic plane, or where you're going like really far, and you have they're like huge planes, and you have your screen, touch screen. You can play different games on it, and see TV, watch movies, and it's just like mind blowing what you can do with all the what they were the ChatGPT that came out, that's just like crazy. You talk to it and you can use it as an assistant, whatever, and you're like gives you like a lot of options. I don't think anyone would have imagined that like 100 years ago. And it's just so I just don't know in 100 years like what it'll be like exactly. But I don't know if people will be actually, there will be like some colonies in space or something. And I think it would be cool. Like in my perspective, I don't think there's like a lot of people think, oh well, Earth is like we still have to explore certain parts of the Earth, and like the ocean, the deep ocean, and whatever. And Yeah, but like I also think like it's not livable there for us. Like maybe you can put like a big thing there, like, but like the pressure and everything, I think would be it's like really difficult. Like even I don't know if it's more difficult than going into space, but it's like you have a lot of problems with that with the pressure, and I think it's more feasible to live in space than to live like at the bottom of the ocean. So so um but yeah, like thinking about like the planet and everything, um like we just take it for granted a lot of the times, but might not always be here. um um so I know like it'll be like, I think, I don't know how many 100 million years that the sun will like blow up or something, and so and it's gonna like consume Earth. So there we do need, but I don't know, like if it's just what like 100 years, I can't even imagine like really how the world is gonna be. I can't even imagine like a million of years, like
Exactly. Or what will humans look like even
yeah,
at that point?
even yeah,
Maybe we're all digital and we just beam ourselves to a different place.
yeah, yeah. Who knows?
Would you take a trip to space if you could?
Yeah, I would.
How far would you consider going?
Um. Hmm. I definitely wouldn't like to lose like a lot of. Um. I would think the farthest like actually like to do something would be going to the moon. I wouldn't like to like go to Mars. I feel like. Do you know how much time would it be like to go to Mars?
It's like 6 months to get there,
6 months.
but you have to wait for the planets to align.
Mm-hmm.
So you're probably looking at a total of like a 2 year trip. Well, maybe a 3 or 4 year trip actually, because you get there in 6 months and you have to wait for the planets to get realigned, and then 6 months back and
Oh.
that type of thing.
Yeah, I don't think I want to like lose that much time that I'm not doing things on Earth. Um, yeah, I think the furthest I would go is to the moon and back.
A lot of time to compose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I also like I don't really like being I like going outside a lot, and don't really like being like confined to space. So I would go kind of nuts if it's like 6 months or. Well, that was kind of COVID a little bit for a moment. Like I was like scared to go out, um, and just take a walk. I was like, what if I encounter someone and got it, have the face mask or whatever. Like at the beginning, everyone was really confused and didn't know if the face mask or not. And you were like, what do I do? And so that was like, um, yeah, that time of confinement wasn't really a good experience for me. So I don't think going up in a vessel, being like 6 months there would be good for me. But maybe for some other people, yeah. I mean, if they want to explore, or um, like I would miss my family a lot, um, and friends. Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, I kind of just don't want to give that up just to explore some place that, like, that someone more qualified also, or I don't know, could do, and just tell me about it, or like write about it, and then like put it on the internet or whatever, and I just can see it and be like, oh, that's cool. Um, but yeah.
Do you think you'll get the chance in your lifetime?
Um, I think maybe like 50 years or so. I I would get like, I don't know if to Mars, but maybe to the moon would be more. Or I heard they're like also building like uh, a hotel I think on the space station. I'm not sure. It's like that. It's like well, right now it's for like the millionaires or billionaires that they can take their seat, but like maybe in 50 years it'll be more. It'll be cheaper. And maybe I could like have a go at it, or if I get enough money. Although I don't think I would like to waste so much money on something like that. Yeah, well, it depends how much money you have, I guess.
Yeah, it's all relative. I mean, you and we probably spend money on things that people with less opportunities probably go, wow.
Yeah,
they're really,
like, really.
And then there's probably people who, spend money on things that we're like, wow, really. So it's like a whole chain of people looking up and down, going, oh, wow, really.
Yeah.
I think this decade's going to be transformational in that by the end of this decade, like by 2030, you and I would both have a chance to go to space.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to catch everybody by surprise. And I just think it'd be kind of cool to like see how people are like seeing it and what have you as it unfolds, which is like why I kind of doing the interview. But imagine somebody like 50 years, 100 years, 200 years looking back at this video and kind of trying to understand how today we were like looking at the world and looking at the future. Is there anything that you think would be good to kind of let them know that maybe they wouldn't be aware of?
Like in a sense of aware of how we looked at at everything right now. Well, like in the future, everything might be, I don't know, like you can do a lot of things, and I would think that that always try to keep people that are important to you close, and that's like one of the most important things. Like just not lose perspective of that. I mean, I know like for some jobs it's sometimes like I don't know, the CIA or something, you kind of have to be like sometimes just on at work all the time and you don't have time for like family or friends. But the rest of the world, I think they're doing that so the rest of the world can have that experience. So I think it's just like to not lose sight of that, of how valuable that is, and that like we take it for granted a lot. Oh, I have family. Like a lot of people doesn't have family, but like we just take it for granted. Like I have my family, I'm gonna see them and stuff, and sometimes it can get difficult, and sometimes they can go away or die or disappear or just I don't know, whatever can happen. And so just not to take that for granted, even though if you're like super advanced technologically and you can have a robot for a friend or something. I don't know much if how advanced AI could get. I mean, I think that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, just like keep close to the people you love, and that in the world that we are in right now, that's like really valuable, especially like with all the stuff you go through, like after like you reach adulthood and you need to find a way to earn and live, and sometimes that's really hard, and the best way to achieve it is having support. Either financially or like just like emotional support. So like in the world we live in right now, it's like I feel like everyone has to go through it. Everyone goes through it, and for some people it's easier. For some others it's harder. But I don't know in the future like how advanced everything will be, and like with technology. maybe taking over some jobs and something that's a lot of people are like fearful of that, and they're like, oh no, the ChatGPT is gonna do all my lawyer work and everything. I don't know. I think that there will be that other jobs will emerge or something, other types of jobs, and but yeah, we're based like in a really work environment, world, which I don't know exactly how it will be when there's a lot of technology. Like some I don't know if you watch the series Expanse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where they're like on Earth. I think there's like, well, there appears that there's like a lot of poverty like stuff, but that since a lot of them don't have jobs because there's like a what's it called, um, universal basic income.
Mm-hmm.
So I know some politicians talked about it sometime, but like I don't know if right now would be um, adequate for that. But in the future, maybe like when, like I've seen like I think one what was I watching? Um, oh, I was watching The Mandalorian,
Mm-hmm.
and they went to a planet, and on that planet, everyone was so well off with technology and everything. Technology did everything that they didn't like really have jobs.
Mm-hmm.
That they just like existed, did what they wanted to do, maybe artistically or whatever. If they did like engineering or whatever, they could work on it if they wanted, but it wasn't necessary to earn because everyone had like their basic income, and it was like this utopian thing. But I don't know how feasible that would be, or how like because it would be like everyone earns the same. What if you want a little more? And like so I don't know how what like socioeconomic um uh um what socioeconomic form the future may have. Like right now, capitalism that we have, that seems like mostly works, has its sounds and whatever. But then some people wanted some other stuff, and it didn't really work out for them. So I don't know what the future may hold, but or how jobs would work. But in 30 years, in 10 years, 10 years, someone looking at this, I think it's still going to be pretty much the same. Yeah, really still like work-based environment. Grow up, you have to work if you want to live practically, or else you like end up in on the street. And it's like, anyways, like for me, I've never really like. Sometimes I am fearful ending up on the street. So that's why I'm studying a lot, and I'm like, I'll have better chances once I get more degrees and stuff, and then. So sometimes I've gone with my dad and I've told him I'm kind of scared of ending up on the street or like not earning enough to like especially like in my like being a musician and all. You know how sometimes they say they're like they're starved to death or something.
Right, starving artist.
Yeah, the starving artist. So that sometimes gets me a little scared. But I think that in this society, normally, if you grow up and kind of just be you, and just like, oh, it depends. It depends where you grow up, but like for my dad, he grew up. He really liked science, went into that, and he does what he loves, and he earns. Like it just like magically happened.
Right.
Well, not magic. Like he earned it. He worked a lot for it, but he does what he loves. So I kind of have the same idea. If you do what you love, the other stuff will come naturally. It's just like finding what you really want to do. So I don't know how that will be in the future. If like I think just like also not losing what makes us like human, that is trying to do what we love, do different activities, and that can always push us forward as a society. Yeah,
That makes sense.
mm-hmm.
Well, Hugo, that's pretty much all the topics I had. Is there anything you wanted to talk about that we didn't get to?
I was kind of thinking like about how if we colonize like some parts of space, or like I know the Expanse was like kind of on it, like they had their like the Belters and the Earthers. Then I forgot what the other was.
It's like the Earthers, the Belchers,
Oh,
and
the
Martians.
The Martians. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe something like that could happen. But I just like find it interesting that it's something that we can think about and can actually happen. And like before, people wouldn't even like think about something like that. So it's really crazy to think about. But I think it's a good direction to explore space, not just be in your own bubble, because it would be like, no, I don't want to go to space. It's like,
I know.
Yeah.
Like, forget about the rest of the house. This is the room to be in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, not take advantage of it. So
yeah, we're not going outside the door. You don't know what's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. Well, thank you for your time, Hugo. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for interviewing.
Oh.